Welcome to a Raw Female Biddy Edition.
No guests, just a quick dose of Kris and Allie.
Oh my God, Al. I got something to talk to you about, and I'm not proud. I'm going to tell you I'm not proud. I'm super interested, not proud.
Should I be scared?
And I just realized that this was something I was going through right now.
Okay.
Okay, it's called my period brag phase. Okay.
Walk me through it.
Yeah. So I noticed. I noticed it started with friends, girlfriends that love me, regardless of where I am in my life cycle. And I noticed that I'd be telling them every time I got my period, oh, I'm a little crampy. Oh, I'm a little da-da. And I'm like, okay.
You mean recently?
Yeah, no, recently.
You're like having these active conversations right
like
now.
I'd be like,
by the way, audience, Kris is 55,
right.
I'm 51.
Right.
Just to give context of our ages, which I think everybody knows at this point.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
She's still actively having her period.
I'm actively having my periods. But I noticed that even if I wasn't like super feeling crampy or like really wanting to eat a hamburger, I'd mention it to my girlfriends.
Just in passing?
It was like a little brag to get a little something back.
Are
like,
these two women that don't have their periods anymore?
Well, most of my friends,
audience?
A lot of my friends don't, but some of my friends do because they're younger. And even if they're younger, I'll say it.
So are you selective on the audience, or is this just a blanketing?
No, it started with the safe zone, which was the friend zone. Of all ages.
Well, and
even when I'm at my friend's house, if I'm on my period, I'd put my tampon applicator in their little waste basket.
No, you don't.
So you can kind of say, I wouldn't like wrap it. No, I keep it in its sheath, but I would usually wrap the sheath up and like make it all hermetically sealed. So
you're showcasing
I'm showcasing. Yeah. Okay. So I noticed that with my girlfriends that I was doing
this. But to be fair, I mean, 55, most women I think, have gone through menopause.
Well, yes, but.
And you are a bit egg forward in life. Like I've always said, she's going to have a menopausal baby.
Yeah.
Because I feel like your periods are like, but now that I think about
this weird.
No, but actually now that I think.
Achievement-oriented view.
Well, but now that I think about it, I do know a lot about your period.
Right?
You know nothing about mine.
Okay. Exactly.
Is this a phase?
Exactly. Well, so this is the funny thing.
And then also the juxtaposition of this versus my daughter who just started her period is really interesting because there is a bookend symmetry to this. Right. Which now, if we really deconstruct it,
about girls bragging about when they start their periods,
don't you remember when girls started having their periods? Like if you were the first one to have it, it was a little odd.
Yeah.
But if you didn't get your period, like
it's
I didn't
a little
get
odd.
my
There was
period.
like this mainstreaming.
Yes,
of it.
like I didn't get my period. I was like one of the last to get my period, and I remember the angst on that. Are we anywhere
that's
near?
Super fascinating.
Are you? Is this a? Are you gearing yourself up for menopause, or are you actually out there trying to shame other women that have gone through it, saying, look at my fallopian tubes and how healthy they are?
Well, yes, it's that. But that's not shaming. I don't feel like I'm shaming.
Okay.
Shaming would be, well, why aren't you still getting it?
Right.
But I do feel like
you're showcasing.
I'm showcasing. Like
you're peacocking. You're doing the male version of peacocking right now.
Okay, so I've realized though it's getting back.
This is fucking hilarious.
So I didn't realize I was doing this until I was watching Veep. Which
I know you love that show.
My shit up.
She is
and
hilarious.
There's an episode about when she's like my age, when the Veep is still carrying around her tampons, and her staff is like, she hasn't gotten her period for years.
No,
she's
so it's such a thing that they did an episode on it.
Yes, and so super interesting. So then I started thinking about me because I've been like preoccupied with my preoccupation with letting
you're preoccupied with your preoccupation.
Yes.
Okay,
then I remember.
Which, by the way, I'm shocked that you haven't said one thing to me about this.
Well, this is super interesting.
Okay,
so I'll give you two other examples, which will tell you how deep I'm in. So I go out for to-go coffee, not even like a heart-to-heart coffee, with the wife of a colleague of Dave's.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
And there's no transition into it. It's like I'll have a latte and do you know I'm still getting my period?
No.
I mean, it was an amateur hour transition. Yeah. So now I've honed my skills.
How was the response to that?
She just looked at me like,
She basically waved it away.
Like, okay. Is there something we need to talk about? She's been through
menopause years ago.
No. But I knew that I really had an illness when just last week or 2 weeks ago, I'm with mom and dad at a play.
Okay. And mom and dad, 80 plus.
And their friends, 70
plus.
And I'm at intermission.
Friends?
Kris and Greg.
Okay.
Conservative.
Just
super nice.
Conservative. Super nice. He's never used the word period in his life, just to context it. Okay, do continue, please. Holy shit, you guys are at a
something
play.
Like, oh, well, Zach got married, my son. Zach got married. He goes, they're going to be having grandkids soon. And I look at him and I go, clickety, clickety, click with my brain. Well, they better not, because I'm still getting my period.
No, you didn't. No.
Deer in headlights are looking at me like, what?
No,
like,
you fucking didn't.
Grandma can't be getting her period.
How did that end?
Oh, my God.
Was that crickets radio silence? What did they gloss over it?
Yeah,
how did that information was not absorbed? It bounced off.
There was just some nervous laughter.
There was some,
and I think I said something like, "Well, we're all friends here," or something like that. But it was like, "Oh my God!"
Not
I think
really.
Even mom was
not really. You're not even okay. Just saying.
I was just thinking, "Oh my God, here I am talking about no."
So wait,
I
can we deconstruct this a little bit? Because is it a? You're not shaming, clearly, because there's 70 plus.
There's a competition here.
You're definitely showcasing your vibrancy on some level.
I'm keeping tabs of where it falls in relation to other. Like I do feel,
and you're winning in that space,
right? And
that feels good because you're competitive.
Al, my ultimate win is going to be if I still have my period and you don't. Oh my God.
Well, by sheer numbers, I feel like you technically should stop your period. But the way you're selling this thing right now, I feel like your flow is heavy. Those eggs. I feel like the visual on you right now is this egg-laden ovarian. This is like the bleed every month is huge, and Dave's nervous, even though he's had a vasectomy, that he's still going to impregnate these eggs.
No,
because the way you showcase does feel like it's a really good sales job, people. I'm here to tell you. I just took it to the mic too. I just broadcast it. Okay, do you think ultimately the reason you didn't tell me is ultimately because I am the last holdout on the win? Or do you feel like this is just you're holding on to the last threads of like your youth?
Yes.
And like I'm just showcasing. I'm going to tell everybody I'm still having my period. Look at me. Look at how vibrant I am. Look at how dewy my skin is.
Like I am not joining that group of women.
You mean the old dried up prune-like menopausal? Looks like it needs a gallon of water, but I've been drinking a gallon of water and it's still dried up. You mean that contingent when we go to the other side?
I know.
I'll keep you posted. I somehow
think that me and Fiona have something in common.
You know what?
Fiona, Allie's daughter.
Bridging the 13-year-old. Let's talk about her periods. She's going to be horrified, by the way, having that conversation with her old aunt.
I know.
And by the way, just for the audience, people out there, I'm still having my period too. I just am not showcasing. We'll come back to you on Period Talk 2.0 and we'll do a check-in. I think we should do a quarterly check-in on this.
It's top of mind for me, obviously.
Visit the rawfemale.com website to shop our marketplace, check out our show notes, and learn more about Kris and Allie and the folks who put together Raw Female.
Like what you hear? Rate and review us.
This episode sponsored by Tom Baroni, who's looking to build an international footprint, one riveting podcast at a time.